college, in some ways, was kind of a center for a lot of change.
The creation of the college came with many milestones that eventually led to the university being established on 103rd. But between then, during the 50s and the 60s, as the Vatican was going through many changes, the sisters found that it was their time for change to come. Even their habits changed. John the 23rd Symposium was the result of all these changes and was under public scrutiny. Even with the mass exodus of the ordained and the Sisters of Mercy, the Second Vatican shaped not only the Catholic faith, but St. Xavier.
So this was a widespread mandate from the Second Vatican Council for religious congregations to return to the original sources of why they were founded and to renew under that impulse of the original charism.
They go through this long process of renewal, which, Vatican Council's 4 years. The renewal process goes, I would have to say, over 10.
There was also a lot of turmoil. It upended things for a lot of people. As you're probably aware, a lot of women were no longer sisters within a few years after the conclusion of the council. I don't think it was the intent of the council. Certainly the church fathers never expected that the innovations they brought about would result in this mass exodus. I don't think you can rejoice over the sisters that we have without having some regret over the sisters that we lost.
The council closed in 1965, in December of 65. That April of 1966, all of the major theological architects that were in Rome for the Second Vatican Council came here, in the room we're sitting in, and in the auditorium, and the library, and in every place there was, because there was a conference here called John the 23rd Symposium that they thought would be small, ended up with 3,000 people. And across newspapers was this little Catholic college on the south side of Chicago run by these sisters, was in a national debate over academic freedom and how ecclesiastical authority interacts with academic freedom.
When you talk about the Second Vatican Council, that's a historic moment of monumental proportions. I know the then Cardinal Archbishop of Chicago tried to prevent it. I know that some of the very astute and wise women who ran St. Xavier at the time managed to make it come off. And it was, I think, one of our proudest moments.
That is in the genes of this university. And I think many people that come through here for their education know it.
They can put their gifts on the table, and that their gifts will have a place, and that their voice can be heard.
Yeah, a lot of women's colleges in the 20th century faced declining enrollment as you got closer to the 60s and 70s. Single-sex female colleges had a hard time surviving in the competitive market of colleges. And so you see a lot of both Catholic and non-Catholic schools, women's colleges, either having to go co-ed very slowly, maybe a few men here and there, or closing their doors.